ඕකේ ගයිස් අපි එහෙනම් ෆොබිඩන් වෙස්ට් එකේ ඊළඟ මේන් මිෂන් එකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. මිෂන් එකේ නම ජෙමිනි සෝරි. ගිහින් බලමු. ගයියා වහම්බෙන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ ගිහිල්ලා.
Welcome back.
All right. Eva pass it down. Talk to Gaya.
Aloy, I know your experience in Thebes was unsettling, but we have a new problem.
Did something go wrong with Beta and the rig? Will we be able to transport you to Gemini?
The rig is complete. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. But the net effect is that absorbing
Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long? Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I don't know, but I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the Zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Aloy, you better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay.
So the old ones painted their faces with something called...
I don't think that door had power before, but...
Aloy.
Looks like it's malfunctioning.
I tried, but it's impossible. I don't think anything will convince her to go.
We don't have a choice.
Good luck.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. Tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone, in a cell again. Their slave. Forever. We have a solid plan. You helped come up with it. Without you there, the probability that the Zeniths discover us is high. But with you, that risk is much less. We'll get Hephaestus, get out, and come back here. It'll be okay. No! You can't guarantee that. I told you from the beginning we'll never beat them. It's hopeless. Beta. Leave me alone! You don't understand! You're right. I don't understand. We have the same genes, the same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast, shunned, and isolated just like me, so what's the difference? What's my defect? Beta. You don't have a defect. Beta. Look, it's not a piece of Elizabeth. The difference is, I had him. Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never warm or loving. The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon you. He wanted me to embrace the tribe. But then he gave his life.
මට හිතෙනවා නිකන් ඒලෝයි මැරිලා ඉවර වෙලා ඊළඟ ගේම් එකේ ඉඳන් මෙයාව ගහන්න වෙයි දන්නේ.
And that was enough.
Radical theory number
What
1.
did it feel like? It was like having the strength that was always there. It's still there. Even now I hear him in my head when things get bad. But it looks impossible. Look deeper. And then fight like you can win. You don't have to go on the mission. We'll find another way. I'll go. Like he said, odds are in our favor if I do. We have to succeed. But you have to promise me one thing. Yes, of course. If it goes bad, if the Zeniths find us, I don't want to be their slave again. Do you understand? Okay. Promise? I promise. I could use as much time as you can give me to study up on the merge, to make it as efficient as possible.
I'll give you a matter. Mission impossible.
I'll be ready when you are. I swear.
Ready when you are.
Aloy, whenever you are ready, come speak to me and I'll ask the others to make final preparations for the mission.
Alright. Yang game matter.
Hello again, Aloy. Hello, Aloy.
Alloy.
Hey, Gaia. So, me and Beta, I guess you heard what happened.
Yes. I am continuously impressed by the complexity of human relationships. Despite the unpleasant circumstances that led to your quarrel, I am pleased to see you have both found an agreeable resolution.
Well, 2 heads are better than 1, right?
Yes, I believe so. Are you ready to depart for Cauldron Gemini?
Gemini.
Or we can continue our conversation, if you like.
Gemini.
Okay, people. It's time to head out.
Alright.
I'll get everyone
Team
together.
Alloy. Gemini. Alright. Keren buat. වෙන කෝල්රන් එකට යන්නේ නේ. කොල්ල මැරෙයි දන්නේ. තනි වගේමක් යන්න යන්න. ඉස්සෙල්ලා මට කලින් යන්න බැරි වෙච්ච පෝල් රන් එකකට යන්න දෙන්නේ මේන් ස්ටෝරි එකේ කොටස.
All right, connections in place. Booting up.
Beta, Aloy. I am fully installed on this core and ready to connect to the Cauldron network.
It's good to hear your voice. Errand, everyone. Fire your pulses and sound off.
I'm at my cauldron. This thingy, it's blinking. Did I do it right? In position at my cauldron. My pulse generator is blinking also.
That means they're working. I'm in position, and mine is too. Mine as well.
Okay, radio silence until I give the all clear. Signing off. Gaia, let's cage the beast.
It was us.
Connecting to the Cauldron network now.
Nice.
Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance. Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance.
Clearance confirmed. Initiating containment sequence.
Lock it down!
Terminating external connections.
It's working. It's got nowhere to go.
Nice. Hello again, right?
Wait, what's that?
Malware detected. Attempting to compensate.
It's cracked.
Look!
Autonomous defenses. Directive neutralize.
That means machines are on their way. Get ready.
Here they come!
Alright. Mana views කරන්නේ.
Time to fight!
Traps ටිකක් දාන්නේ.
Stay back! Get back!
Aloy! Help! Ah!
Over here, you! Aloy! Need a hand over here!
I can keep going.
What?
Oh!
But down, okay. All those raining.
Draw it away from Beta!
Ah!
I'm with you, Aloy!
It's really angry.
Stay back!
Aloy!
Get back!
Oh! Help!
Over here, you!
Ah!
back!
Aloy! Help!
Over here, you! Aloy! Get a hand over here! Draw it away from Beta!
I'm really angry!
Stay back!
That's all of them for now. You two okay?
Back to it. Still breathing.
Aloy, Hephaestus can't escape, but it must have fled. Deeper into the facility.
Gua pasang tangan lo lah. Bayangin lah, ini apa? Gigi. Una weapon llega.
I gotta chase after Hephaestus. Force it out of wherever it's hiding. Make it retreat to the core. Reach the other side.
Aloy, I'm patched into your focus feed. You should know there's a huge power draw coming from the next chamber.
Thanks for the heads up. I'm almost there. Some kind of production chamber. Festus is up to something, all right?
What kind of machine is it trying to build?
I don't know, but I'm gonna shut it down. I bet those metal carriers will lead me to where it's getting materials from.
I bet that's where Festus is hiding too.
I gotta find where Festus is hiding. Looks like there are a couple of ways I could go. Machines are making a beeline for another chamber. I better follow them. There's a machine. Hurry.
most of the components in the core, but the energy processor's cracked. Without a way to fabricate another, there's no way I can fix it.
Okay,
Oh, fuck.
gotta find a way past this shield. Might be able to catch a ride on the rail. Go over the shield. Okay.
There should be a node you can override. The central platform.
Thanks. I should deal with these machines first. Where's that machine?
Prepare materials for secondary defenses. Intruder nor colonies at hand.
Oh, great. The machine's on the way. Beta! Hephaestus has locked me out of the node. Any ideas?
I'll see what I can do.
Camino.
I tapped into the core's network hub. I managed to disrupt Hephaestus' control of the node. You should be able to override it now.
සෑහෙන වලියන්නේ මෙතන. අනියම ගහන්න වෙයි කියලා කිව්වේ නෑ.
Thanks.
Purge inventory. Materials A, Onyx 5.
It sounds like it fled to another chamber.
Well, I'd better not get comfortable.
Energy containment failed. Safe overload.
Great. Festus covered the floor with lightning. I gotta find a way over it.
Aloy! More machines keep coming! Please tell me you're getting close!
I'm working on it. I've been smashing through a lot of machines on my side, too.
I guess Aaron's missing out!
Anyway, I'm making progress on the bypass, but I need something to hold the cycling module together.
Maybe a ligament from one of the machine carcasses?
Right. Or some luminous braiding.
You could reinforce it with a conversion cylinder.
For increased connectivity. I think we can do this, Aloy.
I should be able to catch a ride on one of those metal carriers.
Yes.
Longer. Alright. I need to drive Festus out of here.
There should be another note to open it.
Got it. Oh, not happy to see me?
Hey, I love it.
Oh, here we go again.
That just isn't good. I'll try to get your access back.
There goes the piece.
Reverse current order F6R.
Acid's eating away at it. Now to follow up.
Clear debris from materials.
And there. Node access restored. Now you can override it.
Work.
involved in heavy lifting.
Return to the assembly chamber.
Okay. Festus is running out of places to hide.
Aloy? I just registered a huge energy surge back in the production chamber. Something big is happening.
Here too. Everything's glowing.
The machine that Festus was building. It must have finished it.
It's powerful. Whatever it is. I'm
Okay,
almost
I
done
got
with the
this.
core repairs. Should we come to you? Maybe I could distract the machine if...
No. Just stay where you are, okay? Handling the machine's my job.
Be safe.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, shit. Look dying over here.
Scan it first. Where's on its legs? Look. I think it's charging up. I can take out its tail. Stop some of its attacks. Finish charging. He got plasma on me. It's gonna explode any second.
Aiyo.
Charging up again. Maybe purge water can dampen its attacks.
Yes.
It's done.
You did it! There should be one more node to override.
Good. Stand by. I'm sending Hephaestus back to you.
Energy हो गया लेटर.
No more hiding, Hephaestus!
Got it! Hephaestus is back in the core!
Make sure it stays there. I'm heading back.
And then we can start the merge.
With you, Beta. I'm glad you came along. And you, Varl. We couldn't have done any of...
Right back at you, Aloy.
Ito ba si Wal? Dugo na yan.
Wings holding up? Aloy. Me. The core is stable. Festus is 100% contained. Now we better get started with the merge. It's all set up. Gaia, establish the link, please.
Done.
Kira-kira, may faster sampai deh. Faster absorb करेगा ना.
Okay. To complete the
ඊට
merge,
පස්සේ අපිට රොබෝ
we need
ආමි
to
එකක්
access
හදන්න පුළුවන්
Hephaestus'
ෆාසිලිස්
malicious
ලයික්
code.
ෆයිට් කරන්න.
Carefully.
Nice. Beta. හරිනේ තියා බේටානේ මෙයා ඇල්ෆානේ. එකයි යාගේ පොඩි අඩුපාඩු ටිකක් තියෙනවා.
Aloy! Look!
දැන් කුරුල්ලොත් ඕව රයිට් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ. බේටා බෝයිස් එනවා ෆාසිලික් කොල්ලෝ.
Well, hello, redundant copy. You cost us quite a lot of time.
එකයි.
Eric, get Beta. And squash that bug while you're at it.
Nice. Good thinking, Wal, bro.
Get behind me.
Wal නම් මැරෙන්න එපා, bro.
Come on, quit screwing around.
Yeah, we're having fun, right?
No.
Finally. Tilda, get Gaia and Hephaestus ready for transport.
Oh my god. No shit.
Tilda!
I failed.
Hush. All is not lost.
Tilda! What the
No,
hell are you
Tilda.
doing? Stop her!
I can't even see her!
Tilda මොකද්ද කියලා යන පිස්සු. What the fuck? Boy, Wal මැරුණා.
Beta. Varl.
This is sad, my friends.
Where am I?
Ah, you're awake. You took quite a hit when Gerard attacked you. I imagine you must still be in a great deal of pain. I can assure you that we are safe. The others can't detect us here.
You mean the other Zeniths? You must be Tilda.
I wasn't sure if Beta would have told you about me.
Where is she?
Alive. And while she isn't where she wants to be, not in urgent danger. We must discuss how to get her back, of course, after you've shaken off the cobwebs. When you're ready, take the stairs down the hall and come see me. In the meantime, I'll make breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay.
What the fuck's going on? Main mission let's see what's going on.
What is this?
Just a few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art. Or the insight in my game. My favorite pairing on the left is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery, Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original. Early in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Oh no. I made my real fortune later. Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn.
And why can't Selene and Endymion be together?
Selene took a vow of chastity, promising to never take a lover. So when she fell in love with Endymion, she could only visit him at night while he slept.
But then wouldn't she be breaking that vow?
Think of it as a forbidden love. Though circumstance keeps them apart, still they find a way to come together, however briefly.
Aren't Selene and Endymion cold?
Perhaps we should move on to another piece. Shall we move on?
Why do you keep the forgery?
I've always enjoyed studying the two side by side. Both painters capture light, color, and perspective. But what makes one a masterpiece and the other simply an imitation?
The forgery looks sharper.
Good eye. The details are crisp, the contrast bold. It tells us more, and yet we feel less.
What's in the letter?
Who can say? What does the painting tell you?
She's concerned. Whatever's written in the letter troubles her. Burden she can't put down.
Fascinating.
Why go through so much effort to make a fake masterpiece?
The forger initially painted under his own name, but found little success. His work was considered unremarkable. But when he took on the guise of Vermeer, suddenly it was celebrated as extraordinary.
But it was a lie. And he knew it.
Sometimes we struggle to glean what is real and imagined, even within ourselves. The irony of these two is that Vermeer died in obscurity. He had no idea his work would become some of the most precious, most copied, most preserved pieces in all history.
Interact කරන්නේ නැහැ.
This is Rembrandt painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His
ඒක කොහෙද මේ ඉන්නේ? මේ හරි map එකේ.
the ancient city of Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
He foresaw its impending doom but could do
Israel.
nothing to prevent it. So instead he saved its treasures from destruction just as I saved these works. You could say we're kindred spirits.
About Jeremiah. If he knew his home would be destroyed, why didn't he save the people? Why save those relics?
He tried, but no one would listen to his warning, so he saved what he could.
But how did he know?
He was a prophet. He saw an army invade and destroy the city in a vision.
So it's more like he calculated which side would win a battle.
What matters is that he was right in the end. If not for him, all those wonders would have been lost forever. At least this way, some part of his world survived. You know what I like the most about this piece? Even though he's the sole survivor, his home in ruins, left with only the remnants of his world. The light keeps the shadows at bay.
There's still hope.
Precisely. Take as long as you like.
මොනවා හරි මිස් වුණා.
What was all this for? Some kind of survival bunker? Why did Tilda bring me here?
A portrait of the painter, Rembrandt's son Titus, depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you, with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light. The painting is infused with a sense of loss.
I guess I understand how the painter feels.
Works of art such as these can often cause us to look inwards at our own lives. I'm sorry about your friend. Had I been able to intervene, I would have. But the risk of losing you as well was too great.
Everything went by in a blur. I couldn't get to him.
You know, long before holograms and focus recordings, people relied on art to memorialize their loved ones. Because of works like this painting, their lives are immortalized. Rembrandt had 4 children by his wife. All but Titus died shortly after she gave birth to them. She passed not long after that. Titus became the only family Rembrandt had.
Which is why he painted him this way.
Indeed. Then tragedy struck again. Disease claimed Titus at 26. It's almost as if Rembrandt painted the future, closing in on him. Rembrandt actually painted several portraits of Titus, but this one has always been my favorite. It's honest,
What do you mean?
In others, Titus was portrayed in brighter, livelier states, but here, Rembrandt allows himself to express his true feelings. Sorrow, fear, hope, love. Laid bare on canvas for all time. I see this one resonates deeply with you. Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia made up of influential citizens.
I guess you must have been an influential citizen.
In my day. But not as influential as you've been in this new world.
The militia. They look disorganized.
Where others painted such scenes in a stiff and stationary manner, Rembrandt chose to show them in action, preparing to march. He wanted them to feel alive. You can almost hear the commotion.
Who's the girl in the painting?
She's a strange one, isn't she? Bathed in light, though no one is paying attention to her. Many believe she's a symbol of the militia. A physical manifestation of their spirit, if you will.
She's not real?
What's real in a painting? She's meant to represent the militia's virtue and victory. But I like to think they underestimate her. She looks as if she's seen something. What does she know? What secrets does she keep? There's so much detail to take in, isn't there? The Gust. By Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular. Though waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it.
Where is the ship going?
To a faraway land, most likely. My ancestors used ships like these to explore the world, sometimes at great cost.
What were they looking for?
Anything of value. They were traders willing to face unknown dangers to make their fortunes. But no matter how far they went, they always turned their sails home.
So this Van de Velde only painted ships?
It was his specialty. Following in the footsteps of his father, Willem the Elder. The two had quite a journey of their own, taking them all the way to the court of a foreign kingdom.
Did they ever come home?
No, but eventually their lives worked it. Take your time. Stunning, isn't it? Paintings weren't the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's lidded ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial?
Yes. Such beauty from sorrow.
If this ewer was a memorial, how did you end up with it?
As As the Pharaoh swarm closed in, my homeland's greatest museum gave it to me, along with many other works, in the hope that I could preserve them. A masterpiece like this was too important to lose to history. I even considered bringing it with me off-world to ensure its safety.
Why didn't you?
I took a calculated risk. This vault seemed more secure than the unknowns of space. Besides, I thought someday I might return. A long life, after all, has its advantages. Now, lo and behold, here I am. Exquisite, isn't it?
A lot of weight on his shoulders. I know the feeling. I should move on. She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness, out of grief. It's hard to watch her suffer. I should move on.
Okay, අපිට ඉස්සරහට තේරුම් කරගෙන ගන්න මේ ජීමේ කියන්නේ. All this will make sense in a while, I guess. Tilda ගාවට
There you are.
Tilda
Feeling better?
මේට කලින් ගියපු place
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
This was your house. The one you recreated for beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? That means you've seen
incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it all, I want is to help you.
even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down.
Palatu.
There. That's better. We must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere, remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence.
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Yeah. Regala and her rebels.
Even now, she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the—
Putting her to work. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure they will compel her if need be. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of— That's why I created the data channel.
My old focus. How did you—
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. You were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your action. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
If you like.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Well?
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used first from the technical analysis of art and the profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for count. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extreme.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn. I had to remain anonymous, of course, too. But despite that anonymity.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of one where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich. By the time I finally figured it out, the walled Pharaoh's machines were devouring the... So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans if she...
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters and...
I knew some of them. It wasn't until we were off planet that I understood. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was still... As the decades passed, I withdrew more alone yet again. But this time with now finally having met you.
To do what?
Help you. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so a better future for humanity.
So this channel you shared with Beta...
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from... It offered us a chance to be...
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes. Though it pained me.
She felt like you toss-eyed.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems hard, but you must believe that her well-being has all...
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but cultural artifacts of truly some of the greatest achievements of humans.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. I thought if she could experience Vermeer, it would bring something else into her. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never she needed its shelter even more than...
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortlessness. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth. The left to us.
Which you decided to make up for anyone else.
Not me. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to please us. But we will stop him.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation. A passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his arm, we will enter through this back door, bypassing low fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions in Festus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make the...
How do you know about Silent?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much. He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sun.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, I learned about the distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh, and the secret pact with Regala to attack.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems such a shame he'll be disappointed.
Regala's only interested in killing Hikaru and waging war on it. What does she have to gain by attacking Z?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have lost.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her over.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still that blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta.
While hundreds of Tanakh are cut down outside. So you knew Elizabeth?
Liz was everything she was. I see in your ingenuity, your determination. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make...
I'm not asking about me. Tell me.
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what?
Not aloof. It was a summit in Paris about machine, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environments. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility.
To care about life. Not just follow order.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her. It was as if giving the talk had caught. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth?
I picked the right moment. Right as she came back to the conference, her coffee. She was fresh. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught colleagues. I asked if I could walk, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized exactly who I was. It was... my business was trafficking in secrets, and I took anonymity. So that was Liz. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling.
Alright. ඔක්කොම අපි අහලා දැනගත්තා.
First Varl. Now Hikaru and the Tanakh. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tanakh survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it.
Oh, beta ice cream.
What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me?
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra projection for long. You should have killed me.
No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge.
I think it can be done.
I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
Yeah.
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Silent's army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister. Will be Silent's only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tanakh. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise. So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring silence to the table.
Not if. When. Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... We're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. Ooh. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Okay boys, එහෙනම් එහෙනම් දැන් මේ මිෂන් එකේ අන්තිම හරියට මේ ස්ටෝරි එකේ අන්තිම හරියට ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ. අපි ඊළඟ මේ මිෂන් එකේ